Hi, this is Karen Burke from Karen Burke Photography. Today we're going to take this photo and I'll show you how to change a background on a photo and do a little compositing to add some snow and how to put the hat on the little guy. This will be the finished product. We'll start with the original, which was taken this past summer. I'll go back to my history, and what we're going to do is take this background out. You're going to go to your quick select tool. It was running a little bit slow for me, that's why I went ahead and pre-selected it. We'll see what happens. Running both programs tends to slow down Photoshop for me. So you go in the plus mode on the quick select, and you're going to want to totally wrap around this little guy. If it goes too far, you just go back with your negative and pull it up. You could, if you really wanted to, include the whiskers, but for me it's just too much work. You'd have to go in and just pixel by pixel get those whiskers, and they're just so fine. It would be difficult. So you're going to get all of this as close as you can, because it'll make your job easier later. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next forward in my history. I guess I lost it. Alright, and let me just fix this here. And you're going to hit, I guess that looks okay, I got all those fingers. Got his ears. Okay, you're going to hit select, inverse. So then this is what we're going to keep, this is what we're going to get rid of. Refine edge. You can do this if you want to decontaminate colors. You can see where we've got a problem here. So you take your brush and fix it as best you can here by just going over the edges. But what you're really going to do is make sure you have a layer mask when you're done, and you're going to have to go in and just go really tight and do your final editing there. This isn't wanting to pick up the eye as much as I'd like to. Alright, what we're going to do is, just for time purposes, we're going to say he's cut out as best as he's going to be cut out, and you're going to make sure you want the output to be new layer with layer mask, and you're going to click OK. Okay, click on your layers. The background layer will be turned off, and you're going to want to zoom in, get your brush. I use a hard brush. When you want to add in, you're going to be on your white brush, 100%, and we're going to get, of course, not on the layer mask. Okay, make sure you're on the layer mask, and you're, oh, for the love of God. This is how it goes. Alright, layer mask, white is checked, and we're painting him back in. And if you put too much in, like we got some background there, you can go back and fix it. You see how this is all shadowed out? You want to get his knuckles in there, his little claw. Gotta go back, even though It'd be nice to get those whiskers. For the purposes of just showing you how to cut things out, we're going to forget about the whiskers for now. And trying to see if I have all his ear. Okay. And make sure you have everything. Sometimes you'll get little thin layers where it looks like it's all there, but it's not. It's just a shadow. So go over areas like that and make sure it's all there. Okay. Over here where it's a shadow, just want to add that back in. And you just go around really zoomed in and you get as much as you can. You don't want to have too much of a shadow where it's like really transparent on the outside. Sometimes if you have it there, it'll work, but depending on the background you're putting it on, it's going to show up. This looks like, I'm not sure if that's where it cut out or if it's just a reflection. It's just a reflection. So we're just going to go in and make sure we have all the cup. That looks okay. Okay, what I do, because I do a lot of compositing, and I'll go and I'll do cutouts of different things, and I'll save them to, I have a whole folder with photo editing things, backgrounds, animals, objects. I've got it all divided up. Transportation, I've got some really cool old-fashioned cars. I've got an Indian motorcycle that was steampunked from the museum. And if you just take the time and do your cutouts, save them as a PNG, that'll give you a transparent background, and you can use them over and over again. So he looks good. So you just, for your future purposes, you'd go File, Save As, PNG, and then you just if you want to name it, great. If you don't, a lot of times I like to also pay attention to what's mine and what is maybe stock that I used before I got one of my own. So I'll put, chipmunk cutout mine, and that way you've got it to use later. Okay, so next what we're going to do, now that we've got this cutout, is we're going to take our new background and work on that. And there we go. We're going to put him in the snow. And you could float him in a window or open him up from your PNG file. I like to do that. Here he is. He's already cut out. You just drag him over right to your background. And put him in there. And what you need to do is, first off, you need to make sure that the colors on your subject match the colors for your background. Now this was during the summertime and the sun was out, and so what you can do is go in Image, Adjustments, where you're going to have to rasterize them first so you can make changes. Image, Adjustment, and go to Color Balance and just cool him down a little bit. Bring the cyan up. You can fix the colorations later, just to just to cool him down a little bit. You gotta be careful you don't get too much of a pink cast or too much of a green cast, but try to find a happy medium. If you slide the red, you just have to play with the sliders and see what looks good to you. That's pretty good for a start. We'll click OK. And let me see if I have him. Okay. We want to, when you're putting a background in, background was focused on in the original shot. Chipmunk was focused on in the original shot. So we need to blur the background. So you're going to click on your background, filter, blur, I'm sorry, not motion blur, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and take it so I'd say right about there. And again, it's you just have to play with it. If you do it too much, he's going to look like a cardboard cutout in front of a blurry background. So you just kind of have to play with it until it looks right. You want to be able to still be able to identify what's behind him, but so it looks kind of natural. I think I'll take the blur down just a little bit more. Okay. And next, let's see. You could also play with the lighting on the background because he's pretty dark. I'm sorry, he's pretty well lit. You could go into adjustments, brightness, contrast, brighten up the background just a little bit. You could either decrease the contrast, increase, see what looks good to you. I also like, you could also take it into camera raw if you want those red berries to really pop. You could go to filter, camera raw filter, and go to the color balance. I'm not sure if that's what it's called. And on saturation, you can really saturate the reds. You could also make them really pop with the luminance and just increase the luminance. You can see how they get brighter if you raise it. Also on the blues with the luminance, if you wanted it dark, the snow, you'll affect the snow with the luminance in the blues. If you brighten up the luminance, it's going to get bright. The snow's going to get brighter. So, okay, now I had put a hat on him in one of my photos, so I thought we'd try that and see how we do. This is from Deviant. I'll leave a link with it so you can find it. It was a cute little hat. You just adjust the size to fit him, pull it over. Sorry, my Photoshop is kind of sluggish running both programs. We'll just put that there for now, and then you're going to pull it over top of him so we can see it. Pull him down, whatever works. Okay, now we have to get rid of that little logo up there that's on that hat that lets me know where this PNG came from. Take the brush, black, and take it out. Okay, and now we have to make it fit his head. We're going to go to Edit, first we have to, oh, this is driving me crazy, but I'm not stopping. Really? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Sweet Jesus. I quit. Thank you. Please bear with me. Okay, now we're going to edit Puppet Warp. And we're going to put a pin in there, move it where we want it, put a pin here so it kind of stays right there. You can then fit it around pull it up over his eye. Pull that side down a little bit more. You could scrunch that down if you want. Pull this over here. It's just a matter of playing with it. Okay, looks pretty good. What you can do is on your layer mask, we could pull his ear out with the brush and find his ear. And what you can do is lasso that ear, hit Control J, then Control T, flip it horizontal, and just so you can see it kind of peeking out on the other side. You can layer mask that just to take the little extras out. Okay, and his hat was red in the original photo, so let's see what we can do to make that red. Oh, sweet Jesus. It's frustrating when it slows down and lags when you're trying to do something. Going to rasterize the layer so we can make some changes. Go to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. And what you can do is pick a color. I'm not sure. That's not what I wanted to do. Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. I'm going to saturate, move the slider, and just colorize. Here we go. It's not going to be exactly like it was in the original because I didn't save the settings. I wasn't planning when I originally done the photo on doing a tutorial. Okay, so what we can do to make his ear stand out is do some burning. Go around the edges. bit out. Put this back in. Okay. And that looks pretty good. Okay. And then we can add some falling snow. I'm going to go to I set up a little folder before I do the tutorial so everything's ready for me. I've got my pre-done up snow overlay. It's just a light snow overlay. I usually do like 2 layers, one with larger flakes and one with smaller. Hit screen and I give it a motion blur. Blur, motion blur. Usually have the snow falling in a little bit of an angle. And let's see, you can see just a bit of a motion blur added to it. We'll do that. Then we can pull it over again because I don't want the exact same motion blur. I don't want to repeat it. So we'll just pull it over again. I won't make it as big. I'll just put it right to the size so that the snowflakes are a little bit smaller. You could flip it horizontally. Okay. Screen. And we're going to take the opacity down on that one because it's supposed to kind of look like it's in the background. Take it down to about 50%. And what you can do is if the snow falls over the eyes or over the face, over areas that you really don't want a lot of attention drawn to, you can just take a layer mask and take it out. We're going to leave that as is, and I'm not entirely sure I like the way the hat's sitting on his head, but for now I think if you go into your puppet warp, we'll just try it one more time. Puppet. This isn't going well today. Edit, puppet warp. I like that placement there. That can stay there. I'm not crazy about over here. The fact that Photoshop is moving so sluggish isn't helping at all. Try that. Alright, so now we can go in and flatten. Actually, one more thing I want to do is on the chipmunk, because he's wearing the hat, you can go in and do a little burning just around the edges. Let's see, we got shadows, 18%, and just go. Just do a little burning. Increase just a bit. There's his ear over there. We need to click on that, get that darkened. Go back to him. Now we gotta go on our midtones and highlights because he's lighter over here, and do some burning. still not crazy about where that hat is. But for the tutorial purposes, we'll just leave it. Now we can flatten and use some Photoshop actions to get it to pop a little bit. I've been using the Greater Than Gatsby actions. I really like them. We're going to use, let's see, what do we want to use? We'll use emotional color base. Anytime. Okay. And then when we get to our next action, it's going to take a lot of these red tones out, which is I'm not real crazy about, but it'll show you how it'll sharpen the color base. Has all different levels. I'll widen that so you can see it. They've got a histogram fix. They've got a layer that'll darken it. And what you can do if you're using these is you can turn off and turn on and use what you want and turn off what you don't like. This one adds a vignette, and if you don't like that, you can take it out. If you don't like the tone of the vignette, the color, just click on that, click on that, click on the color, and you can choose your color. If you want to put like a green or like a blue, very dark blue, you could change the color. It's really, you could make it your own. We'll cancel it, but you can do that. It's not just set up so that you can't change the way that the package is, the presets are done. You can change just about anything. You can go in and go on this one here. You click on the properties and you can see all the sliders and make the adjustments that you want to make. And if you like it, keep it. If you don't, just put it back where it was. You can mask out where you don't like it. A lot of times I'm not entirely crazy of the spotlight. I think I'm going to turn it off. This is where they do the sharpening with the high pass. It's a nice set. So we just close that up. And what's going to really tie this in and make it nice and cool is the Polar Express. And you can go into your layer, you open up that action, and if the blue's too blue, you can fix it, you can change it. Polar tone. I'm not sure if I like that. Maybe a little bit less. Just do the opacity just a bit. That I like. I don't want him too dark. They have all these different tones in here. That might tone down just a little bit. But it just gives you an idea what you can do with these. They're a lot of fun. We'll just close that up. And in doing this, we don't end up, because it takes a long time to do these, you don't end up with exactly what I had here. I cropped it in tighter when I was done. I took a little more time with the hat. Photoshop wasn't working really sluggish, and I was able to maneuver the hat a lot easier. But it gives you an idea of what you can do with a PNG file, with layer masks, with Photoshop actions. We'll crop him. So we'll rotate the crop, and put him right about there. We got to get your rule of thirds in. So you got your main focus right in the third, and he looks good. And that's it. Please forgive me for all the flubs, as Photoshop and my screen capture software are kind of overwhelming my computer, but thank you very much, and I hope to make another video soon. Thank you.